Hello and welcome to Nicaragua. So here in this part of Nicaragua, in the last week or so, we have been experiencing quite a few small earthquakes. The reason for this is there is probably volcanic activity going on nearby, so we're going to have a look at the information. Here we see the Nicaraguan seismological website that provides public information about each earthquake that's happened. It is called INETER, and they are monitoring these earthquakes. So they provide a map with the location of each earthquake. The star just represents the last earthquake that has happened, and they also provide a list of information about each earthquake. So on this list we have the date. This is February 12th, February 10th on down, the time that it happened, the latitude and longitude. This number is supposed to line up here. It is the depth of the focus in kilometers. This number is the magnitude, and this number is the region. So if we look at this list, we're going to see that there are several earthquakes on this list that have happened right here in the region where we are. There are some other earthquakes that have happened elsewhere, so we're not going to look at those, but I'm going to look at this time period beginning at about 1800 hours on February 8th up till now. So in the last 5 days there have been 17 small earthquakes nearby. There are more on this list that were not nearby, so I'm not going to consider them. The earthquakes that have happened nearby, if we look at it and we look at the focus depth, we find that they have had an average focus depth of 6.2 kilometers, with the deepest being 14.7 kilometers and the shallowest being only 600 meters, so less than a kilometer depth for one of these earthquakes. So that's pretty impressive. The average magnitude has only been a 2.4 on the Richter scale, with the strongest being a 4.1 and the weakest being a 1.6. So not very strong, but because of the focus depth, we have been feeling them. So it's pretty interesting for me, because I've never really experienced so many earthquakes, to get to feel several small shakes every day. So when we look at the data further, we're going to see a little animation of where exactly these earthquakes are taking place relative to the volcano that is called Volcano Masaya. Okay, on Google Earth, we can get a pretty good look at the terrain surrounding the volcano. This is the Masaya volcano right here. It has a few different craters. It has been active for a long time, so it has developed a little grouping of craters here. One of them is active right now. It's the Masaya crater. This here is the capital city in Nicaragua, Managua. Population over 1 million people. It borders Lake Managua to its north. The distance, to get some relative scale between the lake and the volcano, is approximately 20 kilometers. So this line here, about 20 kilometers. Halfway would be about 10 kilometers in here. What we're going to see is most of the volcanoes are happening in this area. Most of the earthquakes, sorry, are happening in this area to the northwest of the volcano. Now a little more reference, this is a lagoon that is geologically related to everything that's going on in here. It's the Laguna Masaya. This is the city of Masaya right here, the third largest city in the country. If we continue this way, we come to another lagoon that is believed to be an ancient volcano that has collapsed and is no longer active. If we continued farther to the southeast, we would come to another volcano very quickly called Volcano Mombacho. And likewise, if we continued to the northwest, we would come to another famous volcano in Nicaragua called Momotombo, which coincidentally has erupted with a moderate amount of force about a month ago. So here in Nicaragua, we have a line that runs southeast to northwest of about 13 or 14 active volcanoes in a span of a few hundred kilometers. So this is a subduction zone that has created a line of active volcanoes, and we're going to look at this one right now, and we're going to see the little red dots appearing on the map that indicate the exact location of each tremor that has been happening in the area in the last 5 days. So there it is. I'll leave you with this image of our active little volcano here in the area. As you can see, it's a pretty deep crater. If you can look all the way down in here, you will usually see that there is some exposed magma, or as we would call it, lava, because you can see it bubbling down in here. There's usually a large amount of smoke coming out. I used to drive past this every day on my way to work, and there was always a large cloud of smoke coming out of it. This is actually unusually inactive for it, but this is it. It's pretty cool to look at, and it is definitely gurgling around under the ground. I would really be interested to learn more about what exactly is going on beneath the ground here right now, because it's definitely something.